the land of Atalanti, where the sun sets over snow-capped mountains, and the wind whispers tales of ancient magic, there lived a young woman named Diana.
Her heart was as pure as the mountain spring, her spirit as untamed as the vast grasslands that stretched as far as the eye could see. But Diana harbored a secret, one that shimmered beneath her skin like moonlight on water. She possessed the Enchanted Mirror, an heirloom passed down through generations of women in her family, each bearing witness to its enigmatic powers. The mirror wasn't just an ordinary object. Oh no, it was a conduit to the deepest secrets of the heart, a truth serum that laid bare the soul. Its power had lain dormant for years until it chose Diana, its new vessel. Now, whenever Diana gazed into its depths, she saw not her own reflection, but glimpses into the hearts of others. Their joys became her joys, their sorrows their own. It was a gift, yet it was also a burden, for how could one bear the weight of another's emotions without becoming overwhelmed? Life in Alta wasn't always easy. There were times when hunger gnawed at their bellies and winter's icy fingers threatened to steal their warmth. Yet through it all, Diana remained steadfast, her spirit unbroken. Her days were filled with tending to her family's flock, the soft bleating of sheep echoing through the valleys. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, she would sit by the fire, sharing stories and laughter with her parents and younger siblings. But the peace of her evenings was often shattered by the unsettling visions that came with the mirror. Sometimes they were fleeting, like a bird taking flight across the vast expanse of her soul. Other times they were as persistent as a shadow, clinging to her consciousness and refusing to let go. These visions weren't mere glimpses into the hearts of her village mates. No, they were fragments of a much larger narrative, a story that wove through the lives of everyone she knew, connecting them all in ways she couldn't yet comprehend.
Amongst the villagers, there was a man named Camus. His eyes, as dark and fathomless as the night sky, held a sadness that mirrored the depths of her own soul.
His presence was like a melody that resonated deep within her, stirring emotions she couldn't quite name. Camus, a skilled hunter, roamed the hills with his loyal wolf companion, seeking sustenance for his family. His skills with the bow and arrow were unmatched, and his courage was spoken of in hushed tones around campfires. But beneath his stoic exterior, Diana sensed a torment that echoed her own. One evening, as the flames danced and flickered, casting long shadows on the rough walls of their home, Diana found herself drawn to Camus's gaze. In that shared silence, something unspoken passed between them, a recognition of kindred spirits, two souls navigating the complexities of a world that seemed determined to keep them apart. Diana couldn't shake off the feeling that she had known Camus in a past life, that their paths had been intertwined in ways she couldn't quite remember. His pain resonated with her own, and his quiet strength was a beacon in the gathering darkness. As days turned into weeks, Diana found solace in their shared moments, in the stolen glances, and shy smiles that blossomed into something deeper, something that defied the boundaries of their circumstances. Camus, too, seemed to find comfort in Diana's presence. The burdens that had weighed him down for so long seemed to lighten, replaced by a cautious hope that mirrored her own.
But their burgeoning love story was not meant to be a fairy tale.
A shadow loomed over their happiness, a threat that materialized in the form of a stranger who arrived in the village one day, bringing with him the stench of stale sweat and deceit. His name was Malik, and he had come from the neighboring kingdom of Khazar, where the air was thick with ambition and the thirst for power knew no bounds. Malik was no ordinary man. His eyes, sharp and calculating, missed nothing. His smile never reached those eyes, and there was a coldness about him that sent shivers down Diana's spine. Malik's intentions in Alta were as transparent as the glass on the mirror. He was there to claim the Enchanted Mirror for himself, believing its power would make him invincible. To the villagers, Malik represented progress and prosperity, promising to lead them out of their poverty and into an era of untold riches. But Diana saw through his facade, recognizing the darkness that simmered beneath his polished exterior. She knew that if Malik were to acquire the mirror, he would use it for nefarious purposes, twisting its magic to suit his own selfish needs.
As Malik's influence grew, Diana found herself torn between her duty to protect the mirror and her love for Kamis.
Could she trust this hunter with the secret that had been entrusted to her family for generations?
The fate of Alta, she realized, hung in the balance, and the decisions she made now would reverberate through time. Diana decided to confide in Kamis, pouring out her fears and uncertainties. She told him about the mirror, about the visions she had been having, and about the looming threat that Malik posed to their way of life.
Kamis listened patiently, his gaze unwavering, and when she finished, he reached out, his calloused hand enveloping hers in a gesture of quiet understanding. Together, they devised a plan. They would use the mirror's power to expose Malik's true colors, to show the villagers the darkness that lurked beneath his promises of progress. On the day of the village meeting, where Malik was to unveil his plans for Ada, Diana and Kamis slipped the mirror into a bag, hidden from sight. As Malik spoke, his voice dripping with false promises, Diana and Kamis exchanged a look. It was time. With trembling hands, Diana brought the mirror into the center of the village square. The villagers gasped, their eyes wide with wonder and a touch of fear. Malik, his face paling slightly, tried to protest, but it was too late.
The mirror's power was beyond question. Diana closed her eyes, bracing for the visions that would soon fill her mind.
And then she saw it, a panorama of Malik's deceit, his cruelties, his lust for power, all laid bare before their very eyes. The villagers recoiled in horror as they saw the darkness that had been concealed beneath Malik's charming facade. It was a devastating blow, one that shattered the illusion that had almost enveloped their entire community. In that moment, the weight of their deception, the near miss they had experienced, pressed down on the villagers like a physical burden. The betrayal was palpable, cutting through the air like a shard of ice. But amidst the shock and horror, there was something else, a glimmer of unity, a realization that they had almost fallen prey to a common enemy. They had almost allowed themselves to be divided, to be manipulated by someone who had sought to exploit their hopes and dreams for his own selfish gain. Now, as they stood there, the truth revealed before their very eyes, they felt a surge of collective strength, a determination to stand together against the encroaching darkness.
This was more than just a personal betrayal by Malik. It was a testament to the resilience of their community, their ability to come together in the face of adversity and stand united. As the dust settled and the echoes of Malik's deceit faded into the wind, the villagers of Alta began to heal. They came together, sharing stories of their losses and their fears, finding solace in the shared experience that had brought them closer. And at the heart of it all was Diana, the young woman who had dared to trust her instincts and unveiled the darkness that had threatened to consume them all.
In the end, Diana didn't just find love in Kamis, she discovered the true meaning of courage and selflessness. And as the sun rose over the snow-capped peaks of Atalante, casting its golden light on a community that had survived the darkest of tests, she knew that their story was far from over. The enchanted mirror lay silent, its work in this chapter complete, waiting patiently for the next time its wisdom and power were needed.
For in a world where hearts could deceive even the most innocent, there would always be a need for truth. Don't miss the next tale. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and let the magic find you.